Well, hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Josiah 13 coming back to you from the middle of the European mountains, stuck on board a train. Or, well, rather in a flashback while we're on board a train. This is Murder on the Orient Express, and we're going to pick up where we left off. I believe Detective Locke was telling us more about the abduction of that poor kid. I'm surprised they're still letting her hang on.
Hello, Miss Moreau. I'm here to see Colonel Armstrong.
Good morning, Detective. Colonel Armstrong is upstairs. He isn't well.
Hey, kitty.
Good morning, Colonel Armstrong. Is your wife here?
Here? No, Sonia is not here. Always one step behind. She died of a miscarriage last night. My wife, Daisy, and our baby. My whole family is gone.
I'm so sorry. I came straight here this morning. I received word that you can arrange for Daisy to be returned to you for burial. I didn't know.
Well, then, now you don't have to come back. I can arrange for Daisy, my wife, and our unborn child to be buried all at once. Very efficient. Being a military man, I can appreciate efficiency.
I know how hard this must be for you.
No, you don't know. I don't want your sympathy. I want you to do your bloody job and catch the creature that did this.
I know you won't believe me, but I swear to you, I will find who did this. If it takes me to the far corners of the earth, I will find them.
Then go. Please go now. Go find them.
When I was in corrections, we got a lot of training on how to talk to the inmates. One thing we were told was never ever say, "I know how you feel," because you don't. You really do not know. She's not the one who lost her little girl, her wife, and her unborn baby all at once. So no, she doesn't know how she feels.
Nothing's been touched. It's as if Daisy might walk in at any moment and begin to play.
Also, you don't promise.
The house that once held the laughter of a child now feels so empty.
Also, you don't make promises that you're going to catch somebody because you
I'm
don't
not
know if
giving
you'll
up.
be able
I'm a
to
part
keep
of
them.
this case. Or the case is a part of me.
I can already see where this is going, and I don't like it.
All units, hikers in the vicinity of the cabin where Daisy Armstrong was found spotted a pickup truck drive through the barricade tape and then head up the dirt road toward where the subject cabin is located. Any car nearby who can respond?
Unit 28, we can respond, but we're a ways away.
Dispatch, this is 11. I'm on it.
Copy that. 11, you're good to go.
Copy that.
Well, that was probably the most Bostonian accent I've ever heard in fiction.
Okay, there's the pickup. Let's see who ignored our barricade tape. 11 here. I'm at the cabin. Someone has broken in.
Are you requesting backup?
Not yet. I'm going to take a look around.
Copy that, 11.
Idiot. Of course you request backup. I don't like that there's a missing jerry can.
An individual has entered a police-secured area. I have to stop him first. Somebody ignored the barricade tape. Footprints.
Can we turn the lights on, please? Thank you.
A forensics evidence identification marker. Duct tape to silence Daisy's screams. Damn it, Daisy. I will find whoever did this to you. A forensics evidence identification marker. Forensics had to go through this place with a fine-tooth comb. He's not here. 3/8/92. Oh, when the poor deer was killed.
Why do I have the feeling that that's significant?
That's where I found Fluffy. Daisy's special toy. I hope we returned him to the family. Shiny facial hair. The good news is that it's gold.
When he's not in the cabin, where could he? Peekaboo. Thought I heard something. Also, the game autosaved just then, and I don't like that. Marco!
Don't shoot, officer. I'm on your side.
Sir, keep your hands where I can see them.
Sure, no problem.
Sir, this is a crime scene. Who the hell are you?
I'm a reporter. Boston 6 News. You can get us on cable even here in the mountains.
They haven't heard of crime scene tape in a big city like Boston?
All right, that wasn't my best move. I got all excited. I didn't expect to find the place deserted. It was hard to resist.
You should have tried harder. I'm placing you under arrest.
You should be thanking me. Look what you apparently missed and I found.
We'll get to that, but you're going to answer some questions first.
I'm more used to asking questions, but fire away.
Hate this guy already.
Who are you exactly?
I'm Michael Clark, journalist for Boston 6 News. Off camera, but someday I'm going to be anchor. You just wait.
Do you have a way to prove that?
My press card's in my truck.
What are you doing here? You should know a crime scene is off limits.
I'm investigating the Daisy Armstrong kidnapping like you.
Does the pickup parked in front of the cabin belong to you?
Yes, indeed, it's mine.
I'll check. Show me your hands. I'm going to cuff you.
I'm sure we can work out a deal.
Put your hands in front of you.
No, not in front.
Aren't you going to read me my rights?
You have the right to remain silent. I really wish you'd exercise that one. Dispatch, this is 11. I intercepted a suspicious individual at the crime scene. I'll check to determine how badly he's compromised it. Then I'm bringing him in.
Copy that, Detective Locke.
Alright. Let's have a slow look in the truck.
The glove compartment is closed.
Gee, you should be a detective.
Candid photos of the entire Armstrong family. A reporter just doing his job. Or something else? Clark's press card, and the phone number of the newspaper is on it. Ah, good. I can give him a call. Telephoto lens. Not so surprising for a journalist. The glove compartment is closed.
Guess I'm gonna need to ask for his keys. Six 3 4 8 7.
Score. 1 for the good guys. Hi, I'm Detective Joanna Locke, Berkshire Police. I'd like to speak to an editor, please.
One moment, please. Hello, Detective Locke? This is Abby Wilson. I'm a senior editor. What can I do for you?
Does a man named Michael Clark work for you?
Yes, he does. Why?
When was the last time you heard from him?
Oh, it's been at least 7 or 8 months. That's not unusual.
He works in the field?
Yes, Michael Clark is what we call a stringer. He works as a freelancer, comes up with a story we can use, we pay him, and we don't hear from him again for several months.
What kind of stories does Mr. Clark write?
Mr. Clark is an investigative reporter. Mostly crime stories, to tell you the truth. He comes up with some pretty macabre stuff some of the time. Is there a problem? Or a story?
Could be both.
Do you remember what the last case he investigated was?
It was a murder case. The victim was a millionaire named James Miller. He was called the Frozen Fish King of Gloucester, Massachusetts. His body turned up in one of his nets. Or, rather, most of it did.
Ah, well, thank you, Ms. Wilson. You've been a great help to me.
Pleasure. I hope he's not in trouble. He can be a little pushy, but he's a good guy overall. So what's he working on now, Detective? Are you sitting on a story?
Thanks again. This outline is the same shape and size as the gasoline can. I don't need to talk to the suspect right now.
I think you do. Was 3 8 9.
Yes! I knew I could do it. I can always use safecracking as a career move.
Is this legal? Like the vows in amnesia.
There. Now let's see what secrets you're hiding. This must be the missing can from the pickup.
I get in here.
The cap's been damaged, and some gasoline has leaked out.
Open sesame. Right. What is this, a World War II bunker?
This blueprint. It looks like the bomb in the cabin. The kidnapper built the bomb here.
Right.
This bunker looks like it's as old as the cabin. Everything is falling apart. Now what? I have to turn the power back on to open this magnetic door.
Okay. This should be fun. Alright. Okay, gotta retrace the wires. So it's the middle one here. Middle one goes the one on the right. This one. One. Number two snakes up. It's on the left here. Means it's means it's the one on the right now. Left. You sure you don't want to call backup? This one. Bottom one. Thanks a lot. So it becomes the one on the right. Should be this one.
Let there be light.
Guess I gotta hold it down.
Perfect, it works.
This feels like a trap.
February 24th, the day of the kidnapping. They knew about the party and everything.
This feels pretty elaborate for just a kidnapping. I don't like flickering lights in video games. Gotta be. There might be another clue around here. Huh.
Not really my style, but I'll take it.
Maybe if I turn this off. There. Should be able to hear the tumblers now.
Yes! I knew I could do it. I can always use safe cracking as a career move.
Origami.
It's Daisy's hair clip, the same as the picture I saw at the Armstrong house. An expensive-looking pen with the initials JM? What's its story?
That's a lot of moolah.
That looks like a hair caught in the band around the money. Forensics will tell me for sure, but that doesn't look like Daisy's color. These get locked up again until forensics get here.
Let's get back upstairs, and surely that door's not going to slam shut on me.
I'll secure the bunker for forensics. Progress at last.
Surely that guy is still on the back. Of my truck.
I don't need to talk to the suspect right now.
Well, what do I need to do? Ah.
Car keys in the sun visor. A classic hiding place. At least on TV. The vehicle registration is not in the name of Michael Clark or a rental company.
Stephen Baker. Michael Clark.
Clark's driver's license seems to be in order. Okay, time for forensics to attack that bunker. And Clark? He's too sure of himself. I need to get him into an interrogation room and find out what really makes him tick.
Chicago Art Museum.
I know my rights. You can't keep somebody locked up in a car like this, you know. You wouldn't do it if I was a dog. Do they have bathrooms at the station?
There should be a divider there in front of the back seat there.
I have the right to make a phone call, Detective whatever your name is.
No you don't.
That phone is an outside line.
Hello, boss. It's Michael Clark. I'm still on the Armstrong kidnap, but there's a small problem. I got caught being someplace I shouldn't be. I'm at the police station. No, I'm not under arrest. Just questioning. Fire me. Why? The station's integrity? You're kidding me, right? If you think I've screwed up that badly, then fire me. Got that? Fire me. Yes, do it.
That didn't go well.
I think I got my point across. What happens now?
Go ahead. Then we'll have a chat. Now that we've taken your DNA, we can begin. Interview of suspect Michael Clark, 6 p.m., March 30th, 2019. This interview is being recorded.
By elves behind the mirror, no doubt?
You were arrested at a crime scene where you damaged police barricade tape.
I'll pay for a new role.
That's a Class A misdemeanor, and it carries a $500 fine.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
To begin with, where were you on the night Daisy Armstrong was kidnapped?
I was watching TV in my motel room, but I had my police scanner on. I heard the first reports that the little girl was missing. No way the police at the scene were going to let me get close. I set my alarm so I could get on the story first thing in the morning and tried to sleep. It was difficult.
Can anybody confirm where you were?
No, afraid not. I was alone and sleepless. A sad combination. And I realized a bad alibi.
Let's move on to the gas cans and what we found in your pockets when you were brought in here today.
That sounds exciting.
How did you know there was a bunker at the end of the property?
How did your forensic team miss it?
They were concentrated on the cabin. It was pitch black out there.
Small-town cops with small-town minds. I'm sorry, that was unkind. You know, I'm a bit like you. My job is to find something a news program's viewers want to see. You do it for justice. I do it for money. I just have more flair than you.
I know you're lying, Mr. Clark. I followed your footprints from the cabin, and they led directly to the bunker. It was very well hidden. You had to know it was there.
Think whatever you want, detective.
You say you're a journalist, a stringer for Channel 6 News in Boston.
I sell my stuff to lots of media outlets.
Your camera was in your pickup. You didn't want to take pictures of the crime scene?
I like to get the lay of the land. Once I see the story I want to tell, then I start documenting it.
I don't know any journalist who works a case without their camera close at hand. He thinks he's invincible. I need to play his ego. That's the key. What are you doing in the Berkshires? And what is your connection to the Armstrong case?
For the past few months, I've been working on a big case. Boston 6 News was looking forward to my next story. The Armstrongs have been on my list of potential targets for a long time. I changed gears when Daisy was kidnapped and started investigating the Armstrongs.
I need proof, not guesswork. It won't be easy to prove he's lying. Find some evidence. So you just stumbled on a major kidnapping story during your stay in the Berkshires?
Yeah, I was researching PCBs in the river for crying out loud. Then, wow, the Armstrongs. That's not a Science Sunday report. That's a lead. Sometimes you just get lucky.
Your camera in the pickup. There were photos of Daisy from before she was kidnapped.
The Armstrongs are a famous family like the Kennedys or Hollywood couples. Gossip sites love them. People want to see how they live. I started out just stealing candid shots. Paparazzi live on getting that one exclusive shot. Steamy, intimate, whatever. Then when the kidnapping happened, I realized I was here first. What an opportunity. And I jumped at it.
You have an answer for everything.
You're not very good at this, are you? How long have you been on the job?
Long enough to put you away for life. If you killed that little girl. Let's start with why you went to the cabin.
If the police were interested in it, I was interested in it.
How did you find the cabin?
Police radio. I heard the forensic team getting directions. Then, when they finally left the scene late this morning, I jumped in my pickup and hurried on up the mountain.
You tore the tape at the entrance to the property and stomped all over the house. This constitutes a serious violation of a crime scene, Mr. Clark.
I'm aware of that. I'm sorry. I'll pay the fine. But I got carried away. It isn't often I get a crime scene all to myself.
He's enjoying himself. I need to throw him off balance somehow. Surprise him into making an error. Explain to me again how you got to the crime scene.
I listened in on the police radio frequency. Anybody can do it with a scanner. I headed for the crime scene in my trusty pickup, like I've done for years. After the forensic team left, I needed to see the crime scene for myself. I got to the bunker just before you arrived.
Where is a lie detector when you need one? You said you've been driving that pickup for years?
You heard right. Thanks to it, I never miss a story.
You say you've been using your pickup for years, but the title certificate is not in your name. The truck belongs to somebody named Stephen Baker.
Okay, I don't get why the pickup is so important to you, but I guess my ego made me say that. Yeah, the pickup was lent to me by a friend. I couldn't afford it even with a loan.
I think you stole it, Mr. Clark. You needed a pickup like that for our mountain roads, so you stole that one.
Try proving it. But while you run off on some wild goose chase, you can't hold me.
I know that Clark is lying. I need to reconstruct the whole sequence of events in order to understand what happened.
This can fasten into the pickup truck. Brake. Barricade. He opens the bunker. Lock gets there. He throws a can of gasoline into the bunker. Closes the bunker.
Come on, Joanna. That's a rookie mistake. That's it. No rookie mistake there. I'll tell you what really happened. You waited until forensics left and arrived in your probably stolen pickup. You grabbed a can of gasoline from your truck. You then went into the cabin to check if Daisy had been found. You then went straight to the bunker to see if it had been discovered, planning to set it on fire and destroy all the evidence inside. Before you could start the fire, you heard me arrive. So you hastily left your gas can and closed the hatch. You didn't think I could open the bunker. If I hadn't found you, I expect you would have burned down the cabin too.
I'm not going to make fun of you, Detective, or how you handled my interrogation. You're obviously very new at this. I swear I'm telling the truth. I didn't know the bunker was there until the moment you showed up. I seem to have trumped your entire police force.
When I get the DNA results from the bunker, we'll continue this conversation.
You have no concrete evidence against me whatsoever.
The lab results will be in soon. You won't get away with this.
Fictitious
See that
crime
call?
scene
That's
labs.
your arrest warrant and a one-way ticket to prison. I'll be right back. Hello, sir. I think I found the man who kidnapped Daisy Armstrong. I'm interrogating him now.
Hold on, Detective Locke. I have some bad news. Someone set fire to the cabin in the bunker. The fire department is on the scene, but they say it's too late.
That's impossible. My suspect has been in the interrogation room with me all evening.
We can't hold him. Suzanne Moreau. Her fingerprints are on the wine bottle found in the cabin. We also found an unknown person's fingerprints, but they don't match your suspects.
Sir, with all due respect, I'm convinced Michael Clark is involved.
Detective, I'm cutting you some slack already. But we cannot hold your suspect simply because you're convinced he's guilty. We have evidence that Suzanne was working with an accomplice, Noah Garrity. I order you to release the reporter and arrest this Moreau.
Let me just check my last lead. The DNA analysis of the hair found in the bunker safe. The results just came in.
I know how hard this is. Okay. Get the DNA results. Detective Locke, I will give you 1 hour maximum. Then you close the file and arrest Suzanne Moreau.
Thank you, sir.
Computer pictures this crime scene in a forensics lab, where you can get a DNA sample for inside of a couple hours.
An extra computer so I don't have to go all the way out to my desk. I'll add these to the file. Anything that will erase Clark's smile. The only comfortable chair in the whole station. But there's no time to rest. Case files. A lot of them for our tiny town. This is all a game to him, and he doesn't expect to lose. Who did you call earlier?
An editor from the Boston 6 News.
An editor you repeatedly said should fire you. That was your accomplice, wasn't it? You were telling him to start the fire.
An accomplice?
I know it was Noah you called.
I'm saying nothing more without the presence of my lawyer.
Stay right where you are. I'm not done with you yet.
Wow. Do I hear grounds for a lawsuit?
Some poor innocent woman is being accused instead of you. You set her up, didn't you?
You have to let me go, Detective.
All I need is one more phone call to the lab. I know it's you, and I'm going to prove it. Hello, this is Joanna Locke. I need the results of the DNA test I asked you for.
Hi, Detective. Sorry, we only have the DNA sequence. We haven't had time to compare it with the suspects yet. It'll take 7 more hours. I'm sorry, but you are not the only one on the waiting list.
Send your analysis to my computer in the office. I'll do the comparison myself.
I need authorization.
I have a murderer who is going to walk free unless I get those results now.
Fine, we'll send it to you right away, but I'll have to log this.
It's my last chance.
Locke, you are digging yourself in a very deep hole. This is definitely not how it works. Nope.
No! Suzanne? I don't understand. I was sure it would be Clark's hair. I'll have to let him go. You can leave.
Sorry it didn't work out for you, Detective.
Smarmy little shit.
Maybe you should consider a career change.
We are not done.
Oh, but we are, my dear. We are done.
I had no choice but to return to the Armstrong house to arrest Suzanne Moreau.
Still awful bright for 9 p.m.
The arrest warrant for Suzanne Moreau. Suzanne was set up by Clark and Noah. They are the kidnappers, but I'm not giving up. When Suzanne comes up for trial, I will fight for her defense. But for now, the district attorney is in charge. If I want to stay a detective, he always has the last word. The door is wide open. How strange.
Almost didn't notice. Glass door.
Hey, is anyone there? Miss Moreau? The Armstrongs have
Miss
a taste
Moreau?
for modern art.
This is Detective Locke.
What a surprise, she's not here. Oh, there she is.
Miss Moreau, can you hear me? It's me, Detective Locke. You must get up now. Miss Moreau?
Oh dear.
Miss Moreau, can you hear me?
Suzanne Moreau is dead. There are no traces of blows or injuries on her body. She doesn't seem to have defended herself from anyone.
On the bedside table, midwit.
It appears Suzanne killed herself by ingesting all these drugs. Her glasses are missing. Suzanne's diary is missing.
Please forgive this letter. Dr. Adams has been unable to reach you for several days. We wanted to let you know that your mother passed peacefully during the night of Saturday, March 29th. Please contact us if you would like assistance with the arrangements for her or if there's anything else we can do.
Suzanne was telling the truth about her mother.
I killed Daisy. I was scared she would tell. If I released her from the cabin alive, I can't live with myself in one of them.
She must have realized at last how she'd been used. The death of her mother would have been an additional shock, and the self-righteous court of social media was as quick as usual to try and convict her. I called the district attorney to inform him.
This is Detective Locke, sir. I'm at the Armstrong house.
Have you arrested Suzanne Moreau?
She's dead, sir. Apparent suicide, but I need a forensics team.
She killed herself out of remorse for her part in the crime.
We don't know that yet. I'm calling forensics now, but I wanted you to know.
What a mess. Stay on site until forensics arrive.
Yes, sir. Standing by.
The investigation was officially closed. I was certain that she was innocent, and Clark had been responsible for 4 deaths and then vanished into thin air. With $1 million. Dollars marked, though, and not easily spent. I didn't care if the case was officially closed.
I swore, Mr. Poirot, whatever it took, I would hunt him down.
Still stuck.
I waited for the forensics team, then went into the station to write my report. I was officially off the case.
Thank you, mademoiselle. That obviously cannot be the completion of your story. If I might ask a question?
Of course.
Michael Clark, the reporter. He was Ratchett?
Absolutely. I was the only law enforcement official to question Clark. I knew this wasn't his first kidnapping.
You looked for similar cases. What do you Americans call the MMOs?
Means, motive, and opportunity. Yes, I looked for someone in plain sight. Someone on the edge of a kidnapping case. Someone in plain view, keeping track of the investigations. An innocent witness, a concerned neighbor, even another reporter.
And eventually you found a name behind an alias.
Yes, I found a name. Cassetti, the real name. The real name of the man you call Ratchett is Cassetti.
This explains much, mademoiselle, but not all.
It explains why she is our number one suspect.
But not how she came to be on this train. Attends, she has grown pale.
I don't know what's wrong with me. Excuse me, Mr. Poirot. I don't feel very well.
You are exhausted and still feeling the effects of the drug. Stay with us, mademoiselle. One more effort. I need to know your recent movements.
I snuck aboard the train.
This I observed. You came directly to this room?
Yes, and other than a couple of careful trips to the ladies yesterday, I never left this room. I didn't want to be spotted by Ratchett. Yesterday, I chatted with my roommate, Miss Schmidt, I think, here in our room. She brought me some dinner. I got very sleepy and nodded off.
And now she nods off again. Is this a joke? She must be faking, so we can't interrogate her further, Poirot.
No, Book. She really seems to have fallen asleep again. It is my fault. She must have been given a dangerous dose of sleeping pills last night. The effects should wear off soon, I hope, but I am afraid asking her to tell us her story was too much for her.
Pinch her, Poirot. She's faking.
Her eyes are dilated. She is not faking, and there will be no pinching. Dr. Constantine, please stay with her. Monsieur Book, ask the other passengers to gather in the dining car. There are still many questions I need to ask.
But all of them together? Won't someone overhear your questioning the others?
I will speak softly because I am trained to do so. They will speak softly because they want to.
Very well. I will do as you say.
I don't think she killed Ratchett. She's certainly not working for the Berkshire Police anymore.
I'll stay here to watch over Miss Locke.
I hope your investigation is going well, Mr. Poirot.
Do the dining car, then. Just checking to see if there's any golden mustaches in there. Pretty, but definitely not conducive to getting us out of here.
I hope we will be leaving soon.
Matryoshka, doll.
I should go and interview the passengers in the restaurant car.
The passengers who agreed to come and talk to you are assembled, Poirot. Mr. Masterman is already here to answer your questions.
Perfect. Thank you, my friend. Sit down, Monsieur Masterman, please.
Thank you.
Does the name Cassetti mean anything to you?
No. Should it?
Have you heard of the Armstrong kidnapping case?
Of course. It was all over the news a few years ago.
Your employer's real name is Cassetti. He was the man behind that kidnapping.
Mr. Ratchett was... He murdered that poor little girl?
Correction. He's
Mr.
accused.
McQueen, the man you worked for is a kidnapper named Cassetti.
What? What kidnapping?
He murdered his victim, a child named...
Okay, I just have to pause right here because I need to point this out. Locke doesn't have any real proof that Ratchett, aka Cassetti, if that was his name, was actually the one who kidnapped Daisy and killed her. I really do not like that Poirot was spouting that off. This just feels like a jump in logic to me.
Daisy Armstrong.
The Armstrong kidnapping?
You had no idea of Monsieur Ratchett's real name?
Damn skunk!
Why are you so upset?
My father was the district attorney who handled the case, Mr. Poirot. I saw Mrs. Armstrong more than once. She was a lovely woman, so gentle and heartbroken. If ever a man deserved what he got, Ratchett, or Cassetti, is the man. He didn't deserve to live.
Madame Olson, have you heard of the Daisy Armstrong case?
No, I've never heard of it.
It was only 2 years ago. It was famous.
Maybe so, but it was not famous in Spain, where I have been helping the refugees from Africa.
You've never heard the name Daisy Armstrong?
No, never. Daisy Armstrong? No.
No.
No! No!
Yes. It was all over the English tabloids before I went to Jordan. A horrific crime that claimed the lives of an entire family and their wrongfully accused nanny. That's right, isn't it?
Quite so.
I thought the culprit had been punished.
Some might say that the culprit was punished last night.
Oh, my heavens.
May I ask you a few more questions?
Yes, of course.
You were in Jordan?
Yes, I was an English tutor there to the children of a high official. Until recently.
You read about the crime, as you said, in the tabloids.
Yes, that's right. For weeks, news of the royal family was eclipsed.
Have you ever been to the United States, mademoiselle?
No, never. Jordan was really my first trip abroad.
What is your relationship to Captain Arbuthnot?
Who?
A former soldier traveling with us. You must have met him.
Ah, yes, I met him on the platform in Istanbul. We only had a brief exchange of pleasantries, nothing more. British Reserve and all that.
Ah, the British Reserve. Yes, with this I am familiar.
And yet he calls you by your first name.
I know there is a clue somewhere to prove she's lying. Are you sure everything you have told me is accurate, Mademoiselle Debenham?
Of course.
Mademoiselle, I know that you met Captain Arbuthnot at the Tocatlian Hotel.
You were spying on me?
I am very attentive to my surroundings. It helps in my profession.
Well, it's your word against mine.
I had occasion to be of some assistance in recovering Captain Arbuthnot's train ticket. While searching his room, I also discovered one of your earrings. Whatever your relationship may be to the good captain, I doubt it has anything to do with British Reserve. You will not tell me your secret, mademoiselle?
I can't. I don't know what you mean.
Poirot, Miss Debenham's got nothing to do with this business. Nothing. Do you hear?
What
Missed.
Archie, stop.
Captain, no! This behavior is unworthy of an officer and a gentleman.
Leave her alone! Have you no honor?
Archie, we should go.
Captain Arbuthnot, I am certain you are a brave soldier, but you are a poor actor. The truth is that your relationship with Miss Debenham is beyond doubt, Captain. Your reaction was apparently that of a man trying to protect the woman he loves. I might understand that if your relationship were some cleverly disguised secret, but it is not. You make puppy dog eyes at one another at every opportunity. You cannot hide your love. Everybody knows.
I advise you to stop with your accusations, Mr. Poirot. I'm going to escort Miss Debenham back to her compartment. Make of that what you will.
The captain and Mademoiselle Debenham are obviously adamant about not revealing their relationship, but this scene convinced me there is more that is not so obvious.
This murder has everyone on edge. In my 25-year career, I have never seen such madness aboard the Orient Express.
I understand, my friend. The more we learn, the more perplexing this train ride becomes. But we have other clues to pursue.
What do you have in mind?
The broken watch on Monsieur Ratchett's wrist, for example, and the handkerchief found near the body. Who does that belong to?
This little drama we have just witnessed has not put you off the scent.
Far from it, my friend. Will you return to your watch over Mademoiselle Locke?
Yes, I will. Dr. Constantine can probably use a break.
Good.
Are you sure about that? So I was gonna ask, is questioning Mary about her relationship have Arbuthnot really relevant to all this? It's an age, obviously.
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot.
Gee, I should be a detective.
That's the right answer.
We had to question people's first names we don't know, and interrogate suspects whose name begin with H.
I must admit I'm not right this time. Let me consider all the possibilities. Yes, there are only 3 possible hypotheses. The watch has been tampered with, or it is out of adjustment, or it indicates the time of the murder. I shall explore these last 2 possibilities before reaching any conclusions. If the watch is out of adjustment, it may be broken. There may also be another reason related directly to Ratchett. Maybe the watch is set to another time zone.
Was the watch defective before the crystal was broken?
The watch was not defective because the second hand is still moving. That was easy.
Quite easy. So, if Ratchett is dead in 115, what information contradicts it?
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot.
Someone... Istanbul is located in... It's not UTC 2.
Nice.
And we were in Vinkovsky. We left Istanbul and we're also past Vinkovsky, so we're currently stuck somewhere in Croatia, in here and there and there.
Right. If this theory is correct, then the murder took place at 12:15 a.m. I must interrogate all the passengers to see if any of them have an alibi for this hour.
Let's check the known alibis. Let's see. Book and Konstantin. Marie Nielsen, Mr. Falsha. Debenham with Solson. Arbuthnot.
My little grey cells did not let me down.
So one thing I've noticed about this game that makes a difference than like the Frog or Sherlock Holmes games. Those games relied more on deductive and logic to figure out puzzle out sequences. This game is more about memory. Foscarelli, Hardman, Princess Dragomiro, the Schmidt, and Count and the Andrenius.
Monsieur Foscarelli, I would like to ask you a few questions, if you allow me.
Ah, Signore Poirot, is it? I was wondering when you'd get around to me. Unfortunately, you find me on a mission of mercy.
Hello, Monsieur Poirot. Sorry, we have a small problem. The orange juicer has broken down and I can't fix it. Mr. Foscarelli has kindly offered to help me.
It isn't a car engine, but I am doing my best.
Even with the two of us, we can't manage.
Let me guess. You call upon Poirot to help.
I'd be happy to answer your questions when we finished.
Of course. Come on, this really shouldn't be that hard. Nope, too small. I don't normally get gear puzzles like this one. So far, so good. druid. And undo that. Typical. Oh, this is annoying.
Voila, it should work correctly now.
That took a lot longer than it should have. I apologize for that.
Bravo! I should stick to automobiles.
Well, now we can talk calmly. Monsieur Foscarelli, is it?
Antonio Foscarelli? Delighted, Monsieur Poirot.
You have, of course, heard about Ratchett's murder last night.
Oh, naturally. It is all anyone is talking about.
Have you ever been to the United States?
Yes, it has been a primary market for our cars for the last 10 years.
You remember the Armstrong case?
Armstrong? The name, yes. It was a little girl, a baby, was it not?
Yes, a very tragic affair. Did you know that Cassetti, the kidnapper, was actually Ratchett?
Oh, no. Then he deserved to die. I mean, wouldn't you agree?
Can you tell me your movements on the night of the murder?
I went to bed right after dinner, but I slept very badly. My roommate, Mr. Masterman, had a toothache. Oh, he moaned all night. It woke me up several times.
Did you hear anything or notice anything unusual?
No, nothing that I can think of. I stayed in my bed all night.
Well, thank you, Mr. Foscarelli.
I'm sorry I couldn't help more, Signore. I remain at your disposal if you should need me.
Thank you so much, Monsieur Poirot. I can put orange juice back on the menu.
Enchanté, mademoiselle. You are Hildegard Schmidt?
I am, Herr Voll. And you, I know, are Herr Poirot.
Correct. May I ask you for a few minutes of your time to answer a few questions?
With pleasure, but first may I ask for your help?
Why does this not surprise me?
I don't know.
I am at your service, Fraulein.
My mistress, Princess Dragomirov, has asked me to open this traditional Matryoshka doll. There is a trinket inside she must retrieve.
Madame, in my experience, each Russian nesting doll simply pulls apart to reveal the next one inside.
Indeed. Yet try it for yourself.
As you wish.
Ah, you are a gentleman.
One of these puzzles. Oh, that won't work. Come on, it's not that hard. Maybe the clue is the smaller colored flowers. Well, I have no idea what I'm doing. Pink, red, blue, light blue. Not really sure how is it. God, I'm stupid. It's right there. Oh joy. It's one of these kinds of puzzles. That's not it? Fine. I don't know. I hate these kinds of puzzles. I have no real strategy to this. I'm just rotating them until I'm hoping that something happens. this?
The inscription reads, "To my dearest friend."
Ah, thank you very much. This doll reminds her of her youth in Russia. It was very hard under the Soviet regime, but thanks to her strength of will, she rose to be the head of a museum of antiquities in St. Petersburg. Even though she now lives in Berlin, it is said that the Kremlin still fears her.
She must be a formidable woman indeed. You are her maid?
I am her companion. I help her in her daily tasks, and I keep her company.
Ah, forgive me. You will have heard of Ratchett's murder last night.
Yes, of course. Everyone is talking about it.
I just want to point out that this is a princess. The Russian royal family was opposed in the Bolshevik Revolution, which took place just after World War I, so that was in the late 1910s. She survived the Soviet regime, and the game takes place in 2023, so... I don't claim to be a historian, but this woman has got to be over 100 years old, if I'm right.
Can you tell me how you occupied your time last night?
Just after we left Istanbul, I had tea with my roommate, Fräulein Locke. I went to dinner with the princess, and when I returned to my compartment, Fräulein Locke was already asleep. A little later, Herr Michel, the conductor, came to get me because Madame la Princesse needed my help. Her back troubles her. I massaged her for about an hour.
Do you remember the time?
I'm sorry, I do not, mein Herr.
Have you lost a handkerchief embroidered with an H, madame?
Oh, no, monsieur.
I thought perhaps since your first name is Hildegard.
It is not mine, I tell you. I could not afford something so nice. I have no idea who it belongs to.
My apologies, I did not mean to alarm you.
Companion of a princess, and she couldn't afford something.
Thank you for answering my questions, madame.
Might as well go peeking here. Nope, still no mustaches.
Monsieur, I am Hercule.
I know who you are, Monsieur Poirot. What do you want?
Answers to a simple question or two.
All right, but quickly. My wife is quite ill. I would like to stay by her side.
I promise. First of all, I imagine you know about the murder.
Of course. The Countess is terribly distressed.
Your full name?
Rudolf Adreni.
Your home is?
Budapest.
And how do you come to be aboard the Orient Express?
I am a Hungarian diplomat. My family has represented our homeland since the revolution from the Soviet Union in 1956. I was on my country's business in Istanbul. Business which I cannot discuss.
And your wife often accompanies you on your diplomatic missions?
Yes, and why not? Was there anything else you wanted to know?
Hungarian. Diplomat.
I do not think that's the right answer.
Awful young for a diplomat.
Et voilà. Can you tell me how you spent last night?
I was in our compartment with my wife. She went to bed early. I played a video game on my phone. Around 11 o'clock in the evening, my wife woke up and couldn't get back to sleep. She took a sleeping pill. As for me, I went to bed soon after that and slept straight through until morning.
Have you ever been to the United States?
I was posted to the Hungarian embassy in Washington for a year.
You knew perhaps the Armstrong family.
Armstrong? It is difficult to recall. One meets so many people.
It was the kidnapping of a child, a very sad affair. The culprit was the man on this train who called himself Ratchett,
Again,
the one who was murdered last night.
Indeed. It sounds like justice finally caught up with him.
Thank you for your time. Now, I'd like to speak to your wife, if you don't mind.
It's impossible. As I told you, my wife is very ill. Thank you, and good luck with the investigation.
Eh bien, the good Count does not appear to want me to talk to his wife.
Why do I get the feeling that there's more to it than her just being sick?
Madame Hubbard, may I ask you a question or two? It won't take long.
Anything I can do to help?
Have you misplaced a handkerchief recently?
No, I don't think so. Why?
We found a handkerchief embroidered with the letter H, so I thought it might have been yours.
I'm sorry, but it's not. It may belong to Miss Schmidt, Princess Dragomirov's lady's maid. I believe her first name is Hildegard.
It is a possibility. Anyone could be lying, of course. I thank you, madame.
You asked her about that already. Just gonna look for mustaches. Just don't mind me. White on white. Snow on snow. Oh, just like in the carol. My room.
Hello. Can I do something for you?
Hello, Monsieur Hardman, I believe. You have heard of the murder?
Cyrus Hardman. Yes, and the fact that there's been a murder is all over the train.
You do not seem very concerned about it, monsieur.
It's not the first murder I've run across.
I had no idea the selling of toys was so dangerous. I did overhear you mention at dinner that this is your profession.
Toy salesman is a cover. I'm a private detective, just like you, from the U.S.
He got the sound right.
No, not good.
It's always the age that I stumble over.
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot. I did not expect to find another detective on this train.
I just finished a job in Istanbul when I received an email from Ratchett. He hired me to protect him.
Something you failed to do.
I'm not happy about that. He'd received some threatening letters. I was supposed to watch his back, and yeah, something I failed to do. But he seemed to think he was in more danger when he left the train.
He was traveling to Paris?
I assume so, but I'm not entirely sure.
Can anyone on this train confirm your identity?
Yeah, that McQueen kid, Ratchett's secretary.
Why do I get the feeling he's not telling me the full truth?
Were you on duty last night?
You bet. I kept my door open a crack and I watched all night. No one entered that car who didn't belong there.
Did you see anything in particular?
The conductor, Michel. He was there most of the time too, except for 15 minutes or so after we left Vinkovsky. He must have answered a call from Ratchett's room. Then he was absent again for a while around 1 a.m. After that, he didn't move until 5.
Monsieur Hardman, have you heard of the Armstrong case?
Armstrong? The kidnapping 3 or 4 years ago? Who hasn't? Why?
Ratchett's real name was Cassetti. I have reason to believe he was the kidnapper.
What? He killed that little girl? No, I didn't know. If I had known, I wouldn't have taken the job.
At least he's got some.
Do you have any idea who was behind the threatening letters?
I don't know his name, but Ratchett told me he was a small man. Dark hair, with a womanish kind of voice.
Oh, thank you for your help.
That kind of sounds like Detective Locke if Ratchett confused her for a male.
Is this handkerchief embroidered with an H yours?
Do I look like the kind of guy who would use a handkerchief like that?
Well, you've got a pretty snazzy suit.
Thank you for answering my questions, Monsieur Hardman.
Listen, Poirot. I know I fell down on the job, but if you need help, any at all, let me know. I'd like to make it right.
You don't mind if I peek at your phone, do you?
Oh, it has been a while since I have seen one of those.
Yeah, you don't see these much anymore. My first cell phone was one similar to that. I finally got upgraded to an iPhone in 2013 senior year of college after it broke down enough where it just didn't work anymore. Should talk to McQueen, see if he can confirm from Cyrus's story.
I am not prepared to receive anyone. Come back later.
Very well, madam. I'll come back later. But you will need to speak to me.
Royalty.
So, my friend, have you finished your investigation?
No, but I have managed to solve a few mysteries.
Okay. I stay here to watch this young lady.
Ah, Monsieur McQueen, may I ask you a question?
Anything I can do to help, Mr. Poirot?
This handkerchief embroidered with an H. Is it yours?
No, I don't use cloth handkerchiefs.
Thank you. I won't bother you anymore.
Call of the Wild by Jack London. Definitely sounds like something a good old boy from Texas would read. No offense to you, Eagle, if you're watching this. Alright. There's got to be a way to press it. Alright. Where is Dr. Constantine? And I also need to find Mr. Maury. I hate that the character menu is separate from mine. Hustle up. Just stopped for a second. But
I'm sorry, sir, but I must concentrate on my baking.
that doesn't look like baking, but whatever. Why is it called WC? Some French phrase? Thought the storage door was kept locked.
Sorry to bother you, Monsieur Maury. I have a question to ask you.
Please make it quick. I have a meal to prepare.
You don't look that busy.
This handkerchief embroidered with an H, is it yours?
No, I've never seen it before.
Thank you. That is all I wanted to know.
I hope your investigation won't interfere with today's menu.
See if there's a golden mustache in storage. Doesn't look like it. Oh well. Yeah, you carry on with your Sudoku, cooking. Sure. Has anyone seen Dr. Constantine? Maybe he's still with Walk. Stops again. A minor bug. Oh, there he is.
So, my friend.
No.
Okay.
Excuse me, Doctor. May I ask you a question?
Anything that can help the investigation, Mr. Poirot.
I wanted to know what your first name is, Doctor.
My name is Robert. Why?
To find out if the handkerchief embroidered with an H could have been yours.
I'm a doctor, Mr. Poirot. Cloth handkerchiefs are a playground for viruses. I would not touch one.
Good point. Head was stuck for me. Again. Nope. Wrong run.
Monsieur, if I am to catch this murderer, I will need your help.
My help? I am at your service, Poirot.
You are obviously a devoted husband, Count Andrini.
My wife means the world to me. There were questions in Budapest about a Hungarian diplomat marrying an American woman.
It did not deter you.
I would have given up my position for her. I would think it is universal. Are you married, Mr. Poirot?
No. I fear marriage is not for me. But her condition, is it very grave?
She is suffering a bout of vertigo. You understand? The room spins.
I think Dr. Constantine could help your wife.
There is a doctor on this train? I did not know. Where is this doctor?
I think Dr. Constantine is in the lounge car. If not, perhaps the conductor can tell you where he is.
Very well, I will find him. Thank you very much.
Well, that was a bit underhanded.
Forgive me for intruding, madame. I am Hercule Poirot.
I know who you are, Mr. Poirot. I overheard you send my husband on a wild goose chase.
Your husband cares for you greatly, madame. I apologize for exploiting that fact. But the situation is urgent, and I need to ask you a few questions.
Apology accepted. I realize you must speak to everyone. This horrendous murder. It's very upsetting.
That is a beautiful music box.
Please don't touch the music box. It's a fragile family heirloom.
Your accent, is it American? Boston, perhaps?
You have a good ear, Mr. Poirot. Yes. Born and raised in what we call the Back Bay.
Are you in the diplomatic service like your husband?
No, not officially. I was still in college when I met Rudy 2 years ago. I keep myself busy handling his scheduling, travel, appointments.
Ah, what is the saying? Behind every great man there is a great woman.
That was the saying. Today one might reverse the sentiment as well, don't you think?
Of course, I stand corrected.
Alright. Unemployed. I'm still not sure if those are tattoos or some kind of shirt.
No, not good. Et voilà. A handkerchief embroidered with an H was found at the crime scene. By any chance, does your first name begin with an H?
No, my first name is Elena, with an E.
But perhaps her given name.
Can you tell me what you did last night?
Well, my husband and I went to dinner. Then we came back here. We went to bed around 10 o'clock. I tried to sleep, but I couldn't, because of the shaking of the train. I suffer from vertigo. I finally took a sleeping pill, and that did the trick.
When did the train's motion prevent you from sleeping?
Between midnight and 2 a.m. I know because I must have looked at my watch about 10 times.
I see.
Midnight and 2 o'clock. The train stopped.
Calm now, Countess. You are not telling me the truth.
Why do you say that?
The train stopped at 12:30 a.m. due to snow, so there was no shaking of the train. But you told me that it was the shaking that prevented you from sleeping.
I don't know, you're confusing me. My vertigo.
Madame, a man died last night. You can't talk nonsense just because you're sick. You are hiding something from me.
How dare you? I didn't do anything wrong. I'm going to find my husband.
She doesn't act like something.
That was unkind, I know, but my strategy worked. I can now inspect this room in peace.
Fashionable.
These must be the sleeping pills that Countess Andreni took last night.
Probably a clue around here. The Great Gatsby. Had to read that in high school. So I enjoyed it. Any handkerchiefs? I mean, any mustaches?
There seems to be something missing here.
Bird, rose.
It's closed.
Bird, rose, leaf. Seems to be the right. Open says me. Fascinating.
For my beautiful young ladies, Helena and Sonia. Helena with an H. It's Countess Andreni with an older girl.
Well, yeah, I'm sure our glad the snooping around led to something important, because otherwise it would have been really awkward.
An engraving written in, I believe, Russian Cyrillic. It looks like a first name.
Poirot! Have you no shame?
Monsieur, I am afraid shame is not a very helpful emotion for a detective trying to get at the truth.
What are you doing in our compartment?
I am investigating a murder, Count Andreni.
My wife is ill.
My apologies, monsieur, but your wife seemed in perfect health when she left the room to find you. I do apologize, but I needed to search your compartment.
You will regret this, Poirot.
Please, Count. You aren't going to challenge me to a duel, are you? Countess, I'm afraid I took the liberty of inspecting your little music box.
How dare you?
The message in the medallion was addressed to you and Sonia. Sonia Armstrong, your older sister, the mother of Daisy, the murdered child.
I am a Hungarian diplomat.
You have no official standing here. You have no right to search.
No, Rudolph. Let me speak. It's useless to deny what this gentleman says. I am Helena Goldenberg, the sister of Sonia Armstrong, and Daisy was my niece. The music box is a gift from my sister's godmother, a very close friend to my mother. We hid the truth from you when we learned that the man killed last night was the person who destroyed my family. I panicked. I didn't want to be accused.
That is also why you lied about the H in your first name?
Exactly. Your ferreting about looking for the H is obviously part of your investigation.
If I found a handkerchief in Monsieur Ratchett's room embroidered with an H, I might suspect you had been there.
A handkerchief? I don't have any handkerchiefs embroidered with my initial. To be honest, that sounds awfully old-fashioned to me.
I give you my word of honor that last night, Helena never left her compartment. My wife is telling you the truth, Poirot.
I hope so. I'll let you rest. The matter of the H on the handkerchief still needs clearing up. But first I should check the inscription on the back of the medallion.
How convenient that he understands the Cyrillic alphabet.
I must admit I'm not right this time. I do not think that's the right answer. Natalia. Would it be Natalia Dragomirov? She is the only Russian passenger on the train. In addition, her first name begins with an H in Cyrillic. I'm right again. That happens to me a lot.
I consider myself humiliated. That shouldn't have been that hard. Where was she in again?
I am not prepared to receive anyone. Come back later.
I'm sorry, madame, but a man has been murdered. I must ask you a few questions.
You must have misunderstood me. I cannot speak to you just now.
Madame, I know that Sonia Armstrong is your goddaughter.
Come in, please.
Please forgive my intrusion, madame, but I really must ask you some questions.
Then ask. I'll answer if it pleases me.
We have not been properly introduced, yet I have observed her a couple of times, so I can already deduce some things about her. That's the right answer. I will first ask you about last night. Will you tell me your movements?
I went to bed just after dinner. I read until 11, then tried to sleep. Later I woke.
What caused you to awaken?
I suffered from back pain, a consequence of old age interfering with an active life. I called Schmidt around 12:45 a.m. to give me a massage. She did so until I fell asleep.
How long was she with you?
A good hour, I would say.
I see. The first initial of your first name, Natalia, in the Cyrillic alphabet looks exactly like the letter H in the Latin alphabet.
I'm Russian, Monsieur Poirot, and I was the head of a museum of antiquities in St. Petersburg for decades, until I moved to Berlin recently. I'm familiar with Cyrillic.
This handkerchief is yours, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. I lost it.
It was found in Monsieur Ratchett's room. Can you explain to me why Madame Schmidt didn't identify the handkerchief? She must have known it was yours.
Possibly to protect me. She is very loyal. Your next question will be, how did my handkerchief come to be lying by a murdered man's body? My reply to that is that I have no idea.
That is not an answer, madame.
It is all I am able to give you.
I must tell you, Princess Dragomirov, I have discovered something astonishing.
And that is?
You are Sonia Armstrong's godmother.
You make that sound like a revelation. I have never hidden the fact, monsieur.
You knew Colonel Armstrong well, then?
I knew him slightly, but his wife, Sonia Armstrong, was my goddaughter.
Yes,
I was on terms
that.
of friendship with her mother, the actress Linda Arden. Linda Arden was a genius, one of the greatest tragic actresses in the world. I was not only an admirer of her art, I was a personal friend.
Very well. But this links you to the Armstrong kidnapping case. Elena Andreni is the sister of Sonia Armstrong, the late mother of Daisy Armstrong, kidnapped and killed by the man who was murdered on this train, Ratchett.
Indeed. Was it he? Then justice has at last been served.
Allow me to summarize.
Do I have a choice?
First coincidence, I shall call it. You are close to the Armstrong family, and the presumed assassin of Daisy Armstrong was killed while you were on board the same train. Second coincidence. Your handkerchief happens to be found at the foot of the victim's bed. Third coincidence. One of the stab wounds inflicted on the body was by a left-handed person. You are left-handed. That is a lot of coincidences, Princess Dragomirov.
Well, Monsieur Poirot, call it fate. If you report to the police your coincidences, they will laugh. A woman of my age and frailty has violently murdered a man? With how many potential witnesses who saw me doddering along the corridor in the middle of the night like Lady Macbeth?
You are right, Princess. You could not work alone, which means you have one or more accomplices. And it is only a matter of time before I find out who they are.
I would appreciate it if you would remove yourself from my room and take your fantasies with you.
Привет! Привет!
Bird.
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot.
Time to report to Booth, get the next revelation, and then moves the story forward.
Oh, Poirot, you're there. She hasn't moved, but she seems to be waking up little by little. What about you? Your investigation progresses?
I find myself helping everyone with their problems before they can help me with mine. I have shifted boxes, helped with hangovers, repaired an orange juicer, unlocked some Russian dolls, all so my investigation can proceed.
Don't forget the dessert recipe.
How can I?
Truly, the labors of Hercules.
That's what happens when you're the protagonist of an adventure game.
The Orient stables. Yet, I have managed to solve a few mysteries.
Oh, tell me everything.
Well, you're an adventure game, Hercule. What would you expect?
The embroidered handkerchief belongs to Princess Dragomirov. I also found out that she was Sonia Armstrong's godmother.
On the same train with the little girl's murderer?
Exactly. Also, Elena Andreni is the younger sister of Sonia Armstrong, Daisy's mother.
Another passenger connected to the Armstrong case?
Yes, Book. What are the odds, do you think? But I cannot see either woman stabbing Ratchett over and over again in a frenzy. And they apparently have alibis. I had 3 theories concerning the broken watch. It could have been tampered with. It could have been out of adjustment before the murder. Or, of course, it could indicate the actual time of the murder. The only hypothesis I could rule out was that the watch was out of adjustment. For the others, they are impossible to verify. So the watch is of little use to the investigation.
And I was convinced that it indicated the time of the crime. 2 women involved in the Armstrong case.
Let us not forget our patient here. There are 3 women.
Look, she seems to be waking up.
What's happening to me? Did I fall asleep again?
Indeed, Mademoiselle Locke. Did you take any medication? Sleeping pills, for example?
No, I never use sleeping pills.
I inspected your cup. You can clearly see that there is a residue of something at the bottom. I'm sure a lab test would confirm you were drugged. Most likely an overdose. That would explain your battle to shake off the effects.
You think Fräulein Schmidt did it?
She certainly had the most opportunity, but why would she?
But no one knew who I was. It's impossible that someone deliberately targeted me.
Schmidt obviously has the best opportunity.
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer. I must admit I'm not right this time. I do not think that's the right answer. Fräulein Schmidt or Monsieur Michel may have drugged the tea that Mademoiselle Locke drank. Fraulein Schmidt or Pierre Michel could have drugged your tea. They are really the only two people on this train who could have done it. But why would either one do it?
Mr. Poirot, I'm feeling much better. I'd like to bring you up to date to why I ended up on this train.
If you are able, I would very much like you to finish your story.
Very well, then. After the Daisy Armstrong case was officially closed, I put out a standing request to the police departments in the Boston area for anything on Michael Clark. But he didn't turn up on their radar. I even set up an anonymous tip line for news about Clark. That's how I met Braid, a sketchy contact on the dark web, but they found nothing I could use.
Yeah, that's definitely someone you can trust for good information.
4 long years passed without anything new. Every day I looked at the evidence board I put up in my apartment bedroom. Then this morning, a police report landed on my desk that changed everything. I paid a visit to the police property room and took home a box full of clues. There was his name. Michael Clark.
I think, unfortunately, we're going to have to leave this episode here and leave those revelations. And for next time, thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed watching me stumble around and the Orient Express, making a fool of myself for the sake of an adventure game. But I have to admit, that's a lot of stack of coincidences all piling up on top of one another. Very much an Agatha Christie story that I found. But I suppose we'll have to wait and see how those all play out. So until next time, au revoir.